Carl and Damon here from Games, Brains and Headbanging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. And it's catch-up time, really. We're just going to talk about some of the games we've been playing recently since we last met up, since we last sat down to film some shit. And of course, you play some games, I play some games. And we're going to talk them through, give you some thoughts and opinions on what we're playing at the moment, share some back and forth if it's a game I've played that you've started playing or vice versa. I'm going to get us started, right, with a game that's been out for a couple of years, right? It's been sitting in my freaking, hard drive. Like you know how it goes. You download a game, perhaps when it's on sale, and you plan to start and you just don't. Now, I often have a major problem, which is like, I'll download a game and I'll be like, it's a huge game, I just need time for that. And I'm going to leave it until I'm ready. And then I just don't. And sometimes years pass by. I've got some on my goddamn hard drive or in my sort of game library that I'm like, oh shit, I really need to get about that. But it's so big, like Far Cry games and things like that. One of them was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Now, of course, the timing of this is odd because Hellblade 2, Senua's, I can't remember what it's called, but Hellblade 2 is about to come out next month. Anyway, I've been meaning to do it, and I'd always heard that it was a pretty linear game, pretty straightforward. Aside from, like we're talking achievement-wise, a sort of collectibles as you go through, but not collectibles in the sense that you're picking something up. But I've been putting it off and not really got around to it, and I finally got around to it recently, and I loved it. It is narrative-driven as fuck. Lots of cutscenes, lots of talking, looks fantastic. It's like a third-person fantasy world based around Viking mythology, that kind of thing, gods and elements like that. She's gone to hell to try and fight, find the soul of her lover. But it also deals with mental health because basically she's, hearing voices in her head and stuff like that. Really, really strong stuff. I really enjoyed it. The combat wasn't great, but apparently this one improved for the second one and elements like that. And it's enough, it's about an 8-hour playthrough. And if you're following a guide for the collectibles as well, and it's a guide where it's just saying here it is, rather than being spoiling any part of the game. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Really looking forward to the sequel. Put it this way, when I finished Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, I immediately went and watched the trailer for the second one and was like, yep, I'm game for this, I'm up for this, yeah. So that's been my most recent completion, the one I completed 100%. What about you?
If we're going my game list is ridiculously long. It's just, and I've been pushing stuff forward because of certain TV shows and stuff.
Yep.
But if we're going for recent completion, then for me it's Resident Evil 4 remake is my recent completion.
So you've just come around to that, yes?
Yeah, and obviously I said you got for my birthday in December, and I've only just started playing it now because obviously it was in a pile.
Yeah, and it's a big game. It's that big game thing again, isn't it?
Yeah.
You knew it was gonna and the original Resident Evil 4 was a long game in itself.
Yeah, because I remember obviously I completed it before it was remade, and it's it's easily an 8-hour game to complete. And then I was reading the achievements, and I saw there's one thing you got to do it in 2.5 hours and stuff like that. I was like, that's not possible. And of course it's possible.
Of course it's possible.
Around it.
Yeah, it is.
I said to you over a message. It's easily the 10 out of 10 game, best ever remake I've seen. Even the DLC was just so clever how it fits in with the entire story. And they've done an amazing job for it.
It's not a new game for me. I played it when it actually was released, and I wrote a review on the site and gave it 10 out of 10, and stand by that 10 out of 10. I think it is the best remake I've ever seen. I thought the Dead Space one was bloody good. But this, to me, the biggest thing for me was I couldn't understand, aside from certain aspects, I couldn't really see how they could improve upon Resident Evil 4, the original. It is a fantastic game in itself, and it's but they tweaked everything right. Everything is better. It's just better.
Yeah, I can't explain what they've actually done, but it just...
Do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of playing the Resident Evil remake on GameCube back in the day. How much of a step up that was from the original. It doesn't replace the original, but my God, that's the jump, Because don't get me wrong, the remakes of Resident Evil 2 and 3 were both excellent as well. Put it this way, exactly. Capcom have absolutely nailed the remakes.
And whoever thought of the idea of giving Ashley metal armor, cheers, guys. best idea ever.
Well, Ashley alone is 10 times better in it as well.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, really, really is. You know, we'll go into spoilers about certain characters as well and stuff like that. But it is good stuff. And yeah, like it just nail it. I'm a huge fan of. I really am a huge fan of it. You know, and I think they're probably done now. I think they're probably done.
I'm expecting either a Veronica or a Zero, maybe.
No,
you don't think so?
They no, I don't think so. They chose the ones in the. They've gone for the ones in the order. Do you know what I mean? Like they've done it on purpose. If you remember, like I think we even said back at the time that I'd be surprised if they did 4. They did 4. Never say never.
Yeah.
And but out of the 2 you just named there. Not 0, God no.
Veronica or even 5 maybe, but definitely not 6.
Well, I mean, I feel like they set up elements in Resident Evil 4 Remake that suggest they would want to, I don't know, soft reboot it. Because where Resident Evil goes from now is really interesting because, of course, Village, Resident Evil 7 and 8 are not separate stories, but like stories that aren't necessarily to do with sort of the main characters. Well, saying that, then we've got Chris is heavily involved in those games and stuff like that. So I mean, like, it really depends. I have put it this way, I'm excited to see what comes next from the world of Resident Evil.
Of course.
I really, really am. Evil West. I am banging on about this game to just about everyone. Seriously, folks, it's on Game Pass on the Xbox. Came out of nowhere. I saw the screenshots when I thought, a Western with vampires, that could be fun. And then I sort of read some reviews and people were sort of saying, listen, it's like an old school game where it's not open world. Like, do you know how refreshing it is not to have a game that's go, here's an open world? It's like, here's your level. Complete the level. And follow along with the story. And it is so much fun. It is over the top fun with stupid weapons, over the top vampire behaviors, blood, guts, swearing, naughtiness all the way through, and it's so straightforward. But fuck me, is it a really good story that gets you proper invested. Big boss battles. I love certain boss battles. I don't want to spoil them, but you know the one I'm talking about near the end with a certain character who's been turned into a vampire. That one is so fucking epic. Evil West, free on Game Pass. Play this game. It's got clever achievements as well that encourage you to like play it more than once, collectibles, complete it on a harder difficulties, all the stuff you would want.
I mean,
while it's got co-op, nothing. You do not have to do any of that related to it.
I haven't played it, but obviously the fact that you obviously every game nowadays it seems to be open world.
Yep.
So to get a game which is like level based is a rarity nowadays.
It's why I did it, and it is linear in the sense that this is the path you have to follow. Every so often it'd be like, oh look, there's 2 paths. No. One of them just leads to like some money that you're using to buy more equipment and all that. Like it's so straightforward. But each the levels are imaginative. You're talking like swamps. There's a great level. There's in an oil field and it goes on fire at the end and shit like that is just badass. I reviewed it on the site and I reviewed it very positively. Do check out Evil West. It kind of came out of nowhere. I know it came out on PC a couple of years ago, but it kind of came out of nowhere. And it is fucking fun. So do check that out. That's my other one. What you got?
Again, if we're sticking with like complete...
what you been playing?
Well, I mean...
I haven't completed Evil West.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, I mean, for me, completion-wise, it's going back to the past, but it's Tropico 4.
Oh, back to Tropico 4?
Yeah.
What are you up to now? 6, are they? 6 or 7?
Something like that. But I obviously, those sort of games are my style games. I love the old building games. And I fancy playing number 3. I completed it like ages ago on my old account.
Yep.
Obviously, on my new account, I hadn't completed it, but unfortunately, it's been completely removed. So you can't play 3 even with the disc.
Huh.
Yeah, so because it doesn't work on my.
Oh, of course, it's not backwards compatible, is it?
Okay. So obviously 3 is it can't do it, but obviously 4 worked, completed it. Yeah, it's Tropico, good game. Love those games.
Well, you've got loads more to play then, and like you're to be honest, like you're a big fan of the building game. So am I to a degree, but like I haven't really invested much time. But at the moment, you're eating good because the Civilization games are now on Xbox and stuff like that. Not the Revolution style, the original ones.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, like stuff like that. So you're kind of doing a right on that. Yeah. I've not played a Tropico in quite a while.
I played 6 ages ago on my own account, but then that was it. Yeah, so
yeah, it's been a while for me. But talking of kind of like. In a similar vein, but not similar as well, I'm a big fan of these types of games. I can't remember the company, but they basically spit out these games that are like management sim style stuff, where you basically have little workers going around collecting stuff, and you have to complete certain things in the level and so on. Can't remember what else, but there's loads of different variations of them. At the moment, I've been basically playing through the Argonauts Agency series. Like 4 and 5 are the latest 2 I just did. Number 6 has just come on Xbox, so I've actually just downloaded that today. So, and they're very easy completions. Tends to just be like, oh, collect 1,000 wood, and that takes you maybe 20 levels and stuff like that. Weirdly, they've made the achievements easier, because back in the day, the earlier games of this often had like complete each level with 3 stars. And like you could do them, and it wasn't hard, but like it meant you would be playing if you weren't doing it for just achievements, you would have to play for the entire game. Whereas now you can get to like level 20, 25, and then if you've got the achievements, stop if you wanted. They're a lot of fun to play. I always really enjoyed these, so I've been playing them as well. But I'm not going to get stuck on them. I'm actually going to jump to 2 recent games that were released in the last couple of months that I picked up on release day because I wanted to play both. One I thoroughly enjoyed and I recommend, and one I'm telling everybody not to buy. And it hurts me to say this about this game. So let me start with a positive first. Alone in the Dark. Alone in the fucking Dark is back. And goodness me, isn't it back in a brilliant, brilliant way?
Is that a remaster? I thought
it's a remake.
I thought so, yeah.
It's a remake / reimagining of the very original game, right? But they have... Obviously, it's massively updated. It looks different. It's got actual actors. Jodie Comer playing the woman character and David Harbour playing the male character. They look like them and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool.
But what I loved about it was that it was so old school. And it was so refreshing. It's basically, and I try and describe it to people who've not played like the original Alone in the Dark and elements like that. Think of the original Resident Evil, where here's the house, and you have to find keys to unlock things, and do this, and do that, and stuff like that, and complete puzzles. That's what Alone in the Dark is. And as you progress through the game and up, basically, you enter different dream world, and complete certain sections and that, and then you're back to the house.
Yeah.
But now you'll have access to a different room, which then gives you access to other keys and all of that, and so on. Great, great fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Really got invested in the story, which is very confusing. But basically play both characters, because you have to anyway to 100% achievement-wise. But both characters are playable at the start, and then you complete it with one, and that's his story, and you complete the other, it's her side of the story, and it's how they both combine. It's also got like 5 or 6 different endings, including some that are really, really well hidden, and you have to do certain things to unlock, which I really, really liked as well.
Yeah, it gives you more reason to keep
so much fun, but it's also like, it's got speed runs. Complete it in I think it's like 3 hours, and like it is more than possible. Complete it without using any Healy items, which on easy is really easy, and all this stuff. It's so classic. I really enjoyed it, and I was like, God damn, it's been ages since I've enjoyed anything from the Alone in the Dark world. And it's just funny because obviously I haven't played an Alone in the Dark game since the Xbox 360 one, which was awful. And since then, we've kind of just covered the movies on the channel. So, like, there's been nothing positive to say about Alone in the Dark. So it's so nice to be like, oh my God, look, here's something positive. That's the one I urge you to play. Pick it up when it's on sale, because it's well worth playing. I think it's worth paying full price for. I can't remember if it was a full-priced game. I think it was, like, a little bit cheaper.
When I saw it, I swear it was like 17. It was on $17.99.
Yeah, okay, so there you go. It's already quite cheap, but well worth picking up. I don't think there'll be any DLC. Doesn't really lend itself to that, but I am hoping that this is the start of a continuation of the franchise. You know, the one I'm telling you all to avoid. Hey folks, do you remember how good we had it with South Park games, with the Stick of Truth and the Fractured Butthole? Those 2 South Park games that came out over the last few years, you know, the RPGs exploring South Park, leveling up. Brilliant, brilliant games. I know you've not played either. Do play them, you'll be stunned by how good they are, particularly as you like an RPG where it's turn-based combat, but it's in the South Park world with completed missions, but it's also free roam where you can just explore South Park. Stick of Truth is super cheap these days. It's the better of the 2, but the Fractured Butthole is also... You're laughing, but it's not B-U-T-T.
No,
it's Butthole, B-U-T. Obviously, they know what they're doing.
Of course.
And then along comes South Park Snow Day to change up the format for the worse. Now, they clearly knew they weren't really offering us much here. This is what came out as a half-priced game. It was not £50, $60 or anything like that. It was, I think, £30. That's your first clue. It wasn't really much going on though. I knew they'd changed the formula up and gone to a third-person, more realistic look, and they were saying, look, it's mission-based where you team up with a group of players, complete the level and stuff like that kind of thing. Aliens, not Colonial Marines, Aliens Firestorm.
Really?
That style.
Yeah.
I wasn't overjoyed by that, but I thought, you know what? Don't worry about it. You haven't got to play with other players and play with the AI and just see how it is. You know, I mean, it's cheap and you'll record the footage and get the right review. Fucking hate this game. Everything bad in a game is in this. Everything. It is boring beyond belief. It is so fucking short. It has, 3 or 4 levels. That is it. And other than one of them being really fucking long, that's about it. But it is mind-numbingly boring. Go here, fight some people. In combat, there isn't that much fun. You're limited to the amount of weapons you can hold. You can hold 2, and that's it. Then you get some dark matter, level yourself up some more, and then do another one, and so on. The story is so piss poor. And the worst thing is, it's so tame for South Park humour. For South Park. It's really, really poorly done. The AI, playing with them, it's not terrible, but it's not fun either. It actually is more fun to play with other players. However, I'm telling you right now, this game will be dead by the end of the year. It already is pretty fucking lackluster trying to find games with other players to begin with. And then, of course, they did the thing that has just driven everyone nuts. They put in something that shouldn't exist in games ever. And hasn't existed in games, achievement-wise, for a very long time. A viral achievement. It's a fucking viral achievement. It's the only one I don't have because you need another player to have this. But not only that, it requires certain things to do that basically meant this was unobtainable for a long time. Now, apparently it's unobtainable. And I've been trying to jump into games to try and see every so often, hopefully run into a player who's got it. But obviously there aren't that many people playing it. So that's a problem as well. But then I read, it requires that player to do certain things. Well, this is just... So I mean, like, I'll give you the best example. I need this last achievement. The moment I get this achievement, this game is gone from my hard drive. I think that's what everyone's going to do as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking infuriating. And there's going to be DLC and stuff like that. I just hope they don't add more achievements because I don't want to play this game again. It is terrible. Hate it. Go on. You must have some. I've just talked for ages there.
So obviously after watching the Fallout TV series,
Yep.
I finally decided to go back and it motivated me to go play Fallout.
Yeah, because of course, I'm aware of this, but for the sake of anyone watching and listening to this, you've never played a Fallout game.
Only Shelter. And
Shelter, yeah. A proper Fallout game, which is fucking hilarious, because what have you played? You've never played a Fallout game, but you have played the other games from this company.
I've completed Oblivion and Skyrim.
Yes.
So, but I mean, I remember I started this game about 4 years ago.
What, 3?
Yeah, 3 about 4 years ago. And I remember I won the first achievement where you get given your Pip-Boy, get the achievement straight away. And then that was it. I turned off.
Right, because you were like, I'll play this another time and come back to it. And you just never did.
And I never did. And
we've all done that.
Even when I started, the first half an hour into it, I was like, I wasn't that into it. And then next one, I checked my time, and it's 44 hours. So literally, I've now been playing it for about 44 hours. I've almost completed it. I've completed like three of the out of the 6 DLCs. Which I mean, they're all on specials. So I managed to get them all for like £1.20 it was.
Yeah, it's a very old game now, isn't it? Yeah,
got for a good price. But I mean, obviously, it's the fact that it's so obviously it basically is Oblivion with just Fallout.
It's basically
the world.
They sit next to each other in style.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a great game. I know from what I've been reading that the series is mainly based around Fallout 4, from what I've been reading. But I mean, this game and the series, the vibe for me is just
I mean, the whole what's the series based around? I would say to people, like, don't think of it that way. It's taking stuff from Fallout overall to a certain degree. People arguing online about what's canon and what's not. I just remind you all, stop being fucking nerds and just enjoy it sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, in that sense. I get very defensive when people are like, oh yeah, the TV show was shit because, it ruined New Vegas. And I'm like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the whole Halo thing again. I'm not getting into that and stuff like that. I'm not going to say much about Fallout because I've completed Fallout 3 a decade ago.
Yeah.
Very, very long time ago. I played it right about the same time as I played Oblivion. So, like, I'm very versed in them. I am a New Vegas fan, just like everyone else. Fallout New Vegas is probably, not my favourite. Number 3 is my favourite. New Vegas is a close second. I played a bit of Fallout Shelter. Found it to be irritating as fuck because of its free-to-play mechanics, but that's a personal thing more than anything else. And, of course, I have played Fallout 4. And I'm gone back to Fallout 4 because I've done what everyone else did, which was like, all right, cool, I kind of want to go back to it. And I had a good reason to as well, is I never completed Fallout 4. I did it. So, word of warning for your future in Fallout 4, make smart saves. Because it does one of those irritating things that I don't think any game that's big should do. I think Oblivion did this as well, which is, here's different factions, but at a certain point, you will do things that makes the other faction inaccessible.
Yep.
But they will have achievements related to completing their quest lines. What are you doing that for, guys?
Yeah.
So, I basically did everything in Fallout 4 except the Brotherhood of Steel faction quest lines when I last played it. Finished Fallout 4, realised, there's like a whole quest line that I now wouldn't have to restart the game to do. Do you know how off-putting that is into a game that you've sunk 50 or 60 hours into? Absurd. So I put it to the side and left it. My plan was always, you'll get to a point in a few years' time where you're like, I'll go back and play Fallout 4.
Yeah.
That time is now. So I'm now gone back to Fallout 4, and bit by bit, now thankfully it's come out a really good time, because not only am I also going to do the Brotherhood of Steel questline and tied it up, but Fallout 4 has about 5 or 6 DLCs. So I'm just going to do that and then all the DLCs.
Yeah.
So like it works perfectly fine.
I mean, thankfully for me, but before I went back and played for 3, I read up on it. And I read up that there's certain quests. If you do, like, if you blow up Megaton, you'll ruin an achievement.
Yep.
Or I know it's like there's a level 8. You got to have an achievement for good karma, neutral, and bad. So I saved before, got the good, got the neutral, got the bad, then reloaded my save.
Yep.
And so I made sure I read
just smart saves.
Yeah.
Be smart saves. Don't overwrite anything. You can save a fucking lot. So do you mean you're always going to need some and stuff like that. So yeah, you're well aware of that.
Yeah.
I've never played Fallout 76 though, but I'm on the fence about this. I don't care how many patches it's had. I remember how many people said they hate this game because of its online thing and stuff like that. I don't think I will. I'm not sure I'm going to bother with Fallout 76.
I'll do my. I mean, the one joke which I keep hearing again online about the series is that the series is not anything like the game because it's not glitched. Now.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, but then this is the Skyrim thing and elements like that.
Now, Fallout 3, I have discovered a lot of glitches. Like one of the DLCs where I kept falling through the roof, so I had to close down the game and then I had to press a few buttons and load up again, and it worked. Stuff like that, or I get stuck on a rock and I can't move. Just like weird things like that, but. The other Fallout games, I've looked at them, obviously they're all on Game Pass too.
Of course.
So at some point, I will make my way through them.
Yeah.
But obviously, bearing in mind that they are not going to be ridiculous and,
Yeah, and I suspect when you complete Fallout 3, you may not feel an urgency to jump back into Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to put it out there. I think Fallout 4 is just an okay game. Whereas I think Fallout 3 and also, like... Don't forget, like, you've got to do New Vegas. You must do New Vegas. Like, it's a brilliant one, and it's in between those two. But right, so like we had that massive jump. We went, here's Oblivion, and here's Skyrim. Oh, here's Fallout 3 and New Vegas because they're both the same style, and then instead of that, of 4, it's and here's 4. Like, so I mean, like, it wasn't a jump. It wasn't. In fact, Fallout 4, I think, looks pretty awful, really, on Xbox One in particular as well. It isn't the jump you think it is. It's not the Oblivion to Skyrim jump. It's not. It's really not. So be warned on that front. It's still a great Fallout game. It's still a Fallout game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's still great. But, it's not that jump. So, be warned about that. The only other thing two things I think I want to sort of talk about, really. So, Disney Dreamlight Valley players. Boom, 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 boom. Have you played this yet?
Nope. It's in the file.
I mean, because it's a daily thing, you know, like with constantly adding characters and all that. I don't know if you're going to like it. So, I have one achievement left in this game. And it is, if you know the game, you probably know which one it is. It's the one that's the longest. So, I don't get this company behind it. I really don't get them. So, obviously, this is a free-to-play game with paid DLCs and stuff like that if you want them.
Yeah.
You don't need any of that, and you can do a hell of a lot in the game. In the early portion of the game, you'll feel like you could spend hours on it. I've spent a long time in this game. But I'm now at the point where there's nothing really left for me to do in it, except basically get rid of the Dark Thorns. And the problem with that, is that only 8 per day appear. And you need 3,000. So all the achievements in Disney Dreamlight Valley are all collect this much stuff. Now, the joy of that is most of them will be done just as you play the game.
Yeah.
Barring some of the fishing ones and elements like that. But this one is bullshit.
That's like 2 years. 3 years, easy.
If you, I'm about, at the moment, I'm a long way away. I'm about 1,600 out of 3,000. Now, thankfully, at the same time as I'm kind of just doing some of the other Dreamlight stuff as well, just to make it less boring for myself. But eventually, it's going to get to the stage where I literally log on every day, go find where the thorns are, destroy them, and then immediately come out of it. Probably 10 minutes max per day. I don't know why I'm bothering, truth be told. I'm just kind of determined to do it because it's the last one. But I just don't get, right? And the thing is, fine. They've done the achievements because they know they want to do something that keeps coming back over and over again. Whether it be the fishing one, you've got to collect X amount of fish, X amount of this and stuff like that. I get all of that. What I don't fully understand and I find quite irritating is why they're not adding more achievements. They're doing 2 paid DLCs that are story based called A Rift in Time. Part 1 came out and part 2 comes later. I saw that and thought, oh cool. No new achievements.
Yeah.
I don't really want to buy it then. I don't really want to play it anymore if you're not giving me refreshed ideas. I don't really get why they're constantly updating with here's this free new character. Put it this way, like the earliest point, right? There was an unobtainable achievement where it was have 20 or 30 villagers in your valley. All right? Mm. But it wasn't enough. There was like 12. So you couldn't complete it.
Yeah.
Can now. No problem, because what they did was kept adding more. It's a constantly evolving game, adding more and more and more. Yeah. So you have so many now, that kind of thing. And I think like it's a fun game, like and all that. I'm just a bit more. And I hate the fact that basically the thorns are so limited. Like there's nothing else you can do. And the worst thing was is that there was originally 10 per day. They changed it to 8 with an update, and I don't get why. Give us an update that gives us more.
Yeah, see.
You know.
I hate when games do that sort of achievements, man. It's just really, really frustrating. Yeah.
I don't mind it in these kind of games for the most part because, like I said, the goal should be stuff to keep you coming back, to be doing stuff in it. Because it's a management game where you're buying stuff and building stuff and collecting stuff and stuff like that, herbs and fruit and elements like that. So I've got no problem with that, you know, or I have no problem with that. But this one is just unreasonable. It's unreasonable because, whereas everything else, right? So put it this way, fish. The fish one's another long one. It was the second last one I did of the achievements. You can fish at any point you want. So if you want to spend all day fishing, you'll get that achievement. And this applies to almost all of them, except this one, where I can't make it go any faster. I can't do anything. I'm stuck waiting for it to reach the time of the day where the valley resets and new thorns grow. Like, when I saw Rift in Time, I thought, oh, well, maybe that has got more thorns in it. Yeah. And, like, it'll be a new area you can go to. And you could, like, something, but no, like, people, I've looked online, nope, that's not what it is. And that's driving me nuts, man. So that's kind of, but that's my, like, I get up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I'm going to play some Xbox. I jump on Disney Dreamlight Valley first, do that, and then go play a proper game. Yeah. That's what it is. So I'm going to get there, but I think I worked it out. I think I divided. I think it would take me the rest of this year to do it 100%. I'll get there.
Yeah.
Anything else? Have you got anything else you want to mention?
Just like a bunch of old games which like
Go on.
I was going for my list, and I noticed that I had like bloody Mass Effect 3 from the Xbox 360, and I everything's done apart from like 1 or 2 DLCs. So I thought, actually, I'll have a look, and luckily they're on a massive sale. So I've got the DLCs, finished the DLCs. I've got to do one more.
It's like your 100th time playing it, isn't it?
Well, obviously I've done all of the remakes and the remasterings and all that. So I've got one more achievement in that to do, and that's done. Then on Minecraft, I've got 124 out of 125 achievements.
Wow.
One left, but it's the most difficult of the lot.
Really?
Yeah, you've got to collect like 7 of these fucking bloody armor traits, and one is like a 1% chance of finding it. And it's just ridiculous.
I love randomly.
I'm just searching for people online on true achievements. Like, and loads have got it, and hoping for that. And then there's another one. I went back to Left 4 Dead.
Oh, cool.
Because it's surprisingly still so popular. Unbelievable still.
Yeah, it's a popular game, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've literally, apart from one achievement, which I had to buy a second game for the do because I had to get Kieran to play it.
Oh, you know that bollocks.
Yeah, because either that or I create a game thing online. I can't bother to do that. And then the last game, which again I started about 4 or 5 years ago. It was Zoo Tycoon. But the collection edition, I think it's something else.
Yeah, the definitive edition. Yeah, Zoo Tycoon. I love Zoo Tycoon. Love it.
Started not years ago, but I had one achievement in it, and then literally I put it for about a couple of hours, and I went from like 1 to like 40 achievements.
Yeah, the most complex ones of that are the breeding ones.
The breeding ones are difficult, and obviously there's some annoying ones like driving around.
Oh yeah, but even I did that with an elastic band.
Yeah.
That's an elastic band jobby. Yeah, 100% sure. But I'm a big fan of Zoo. I played the original, completed it. Then when they did the definitive whatever version was, I was like, okay, it's fresh again. I'm going to do it. I'm a big fan of Zoo Tycoon. The only last thing I think we'll wrap up on, of course, is that we played Dead Island 2 co-op all the way through. I'd say fun for the most part.
Yeah.
Fun for the most part. I think we had a lot of fun with it. We did mostly everything together, achievement-wise, separated after that. Did house separately, which I enjoyed. Yeah. I liked elements of it. I didn't love how it kind of petered out. I think it kind of peters out at the end.
Yeah.
But like the initial part and like the different ideas and locations and the achievements, I thought all but one were really clever. Like I like the drop kicking down the holes and elements like that. Yeah. But I hated the throwing stars one. Oh, that was from the main game, but I think the DLC made it easier or something like that.
Yeah, because I mean, there's the one where you had to kill them like from like 50 yards or whatever. Yeah. That one I used the style, but the one where you had to maim 3 legs, that took me flipping forever to do. I watched all the videos, and they're so easy in the videos. You know, I swear they've literally.
No, you just get lucky. You get lucky.
Yeah,
you totally get lucky. I did the same thing, and I did what everyone does, which is the blue oyster place.
Yeah.
Had them gather on a fence, and probably the first 20, 30 times, I maybe hit 2.
Yep.
Third time, it's just lucky. It's just lucky that hopefully it doesn't get caught on a zombie and it goes through them to hit the other and so on, that kind of thing. But we have got new DLC to play on that as well. It's SOLA, Solar, which apparently is like some sort of party island that you go to. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that, but I haven't checked it out yet. That's about it. I think we'll wrap it up there as for this sort of what we've been playing and come back to this in a couple of weeks' time and see what we've been playing then. See how much further along I am in Disney Dreamlight Valley. What have you been playing? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.